Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to tryScrum's Day 0 to Day 100 series, where I'm gonna interview Venkat to know what pushed him to start tryScrum and why tryScrum. And the intent behind this video series is that there have been a lot of folks who comes to our classes or whom we interact in our different community forums ask us, hey, how do I start a company, or how do I start something on my own? Um, so we were not able to give the answer in one line or something of that sort. So we got an idea. Let me interview Venkat, how he brought in this, and that's how this shaped up. We are no experts. It is just Venkat is going to share his experience from his point of view, how he shaped up his idea to something reality now. Right? Are you excited, Venkat, to start this?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So just to give a bit of introduction, here is Venkatesh Rajamani, who is CST, PST, CEC, CTC, ICF, PCC, educator, whatnot, PhD, so many credentials behind your name, right? So I know your continuous passion to learn something, but we would like to understand a bit about tryScrum. Why tryScrum? What gave you this idea to start tryScrum?
Okay, so this is one of the difficult questions to answer in a few sentences, but I will try my best. As you rightly said, the intention is not to say that we have done so much. The intention is to say whoever is aspiring to start their own firm, at least this day 1 to day 100 is going to be really useful, and that is also going to help me reflect my path. So why tryScrum? It's a good question when the name itself says tryScrum, right? So which means it was an idea. So after having worked with so many companies in the IT industry, some people call me job hopper, right? Hopped a lot of companies, yet felt something is missing. My inner calling was not that, because I literally found that the companies were not using all the voices in the company to make decisions. And the solution space is very, very small. Typically, the solution is decided by a few members, and that will be dictated to many employees in the company. So I thought I would do something about it. There are two choices. One is to stuck in the hierarchy in corporates, struggle to do something, move the needle, but cannot create a bigger impact, cannot reach a wider audience that I would want to reach. And the second choice is to come out of all these comfort zone and try to do something on your own. So the inspiration or the motivation behind tryScrum is to humanize workplaces where the companies are continuously inspecting the workforce needs and also collaborating with them to create a solution. And I used to say, create the best idea that wins forever, not the political idea, not the most powerful idea, but the best idea always wins. So the idea behind tryScrum is to see the thought process in companies through different ways. I think one of the powerful ways is to use Scrum as a medium to communicate it, because people will have to connect. How can they do that? So that's the inspiration behind tryScrum.
Fantastic. So you talked about how you had something that is missing in your career, even after going and working in so many companies. So everyone has this thought, everyone has this idea. So we call this as, but not many were able to cross that. We call it as crossing the chasm, right? Not everyone was able to cross that chasm. So how did you do that?
Okay, so see, this is what I used to tell people, right? When hundreds of people come and ask, I wanted to start my own company. It is very easy to start your own startup, because anybody can start their startup. But what matters is how much are you able to swim through the tediums that you come across, because you have to be very clear what is your priority, right? You may have to sacrifice financially, you may have to sacrifice your time, you may have to sacrifice your responsibilities. Sometimes you may have to sacrifice everything else just to grow your company. So I know there are tons of founders in India trying to do this, but my my idea is drop in an ocean, right? I'm going to just add drop in an ocean. Is that you have to be good at something. So just go back to Ikigai, right? I believe in Ikigai. You have to be extremely good at something. What I'm talking about, good is not average. You have to be extremely good at something. Try to be consistent with that. And that is going to create a way to do that. So when you say, how did you do that? You have to start. So at some point, you have to start what you want to do. For that, you have to be clear on what you want to do. So if you're very clear on what you want to do, and if you're very good at what you are trying to do, I think the rest is going to be the history. So you have to start, and to start, you have to sacrifice a lot of things I told you. One is many people get stuck in financial commitments. So I used to tell everybody, even my family members, relatives, neighbors, you've got to have a financial freedom to pursue what you wanted. So anybody that is willing to do something that they like or love, you have to have a financial freedom. That's the first step, in my opinion.
Okay, so since this is not a scripted interview or such, I'm just picking up words from your things and then I'm going to ask another question. So I had two interesting things came out when you said this, right? Start. That's the first thing that you said. And then you said you need to identify something that you're very good at, right? So I feel that itself is a difficult part for people to identify. Yes, starting is fine, but the other part, how do you identify yourself to be the best in that?
Okay, so
yes.
Of course, it took the reason I started my company after 15, 16 years is because of that reason, right? It took 15 years for me to know what I really wanted. And if you go and ask people, they really don't know what they really wanted. I agree with you. So to discover what you really wanted, in my opinion, is to go back and reflect, which many people don't do, is the moments that you enjoyed a lot in your career. Further, you got to take a pause and reflect what were some of the moments you truly enjoyed. You were extremely happy doing it without even having a single thought behind it. So, yes, these were the moments I was enjoying the most. These were the moments I was flawless. These were the moments I was going with my full flow, right? I had to do that work for about 7 years to find and discover what I wanted. And during that path of discovery, I need to reflect and recollect so many feedback that came from my seniors, my managers, my leaders. Okay, what was the most impactful work that I've done in the industry, and what was the most impactful moments that I was able to create in my career that engineer your path. Like some people may be very good at coding, and some people may be very good at dancing. Maybe some people are very good speakers, and some people are very good at coaching, right? In my view, coaching is, to some extent, is a born quality, right? There are born coaches. You can teach somebody coaching skills, but if they are not going to be a good listener, I don't think they can make a good coaching career. So you have to discover that by reflecting back. And to reflect back, at least what worked for me is, I think I'm a person who used to take a lot of vacations, and you don't see me working continuously for 2 months. The moment I feel that I'm stressed or I'm not my best version, I used to take a break. So I took a break once in my career for about 2 months, which was not easy for everybody, because I've seen so many people in the industry, they just grab offers back to back, they join other companies. So they get relieved from the previous company on a Friday, and they used to join the next company on a Monday. They don't give any gap because they don't give any break. If you're not able to give any break, you don't have any time for reflection. So I was able to take that break. I took 2 to 3 months break to figure out what is it I really wanted. And I used the 3 months time to reflect my whole career and wrote down a lot of stuff. From there, I was able to pick what was the most pressing or inner calling that I would like to pursue. So okay. I think that's how it's emerged.
It was fantastic how you summarized the holistic things, right? So you talked about someone reflecting at their accolades, what they felt enjoyed, what they were good at. So just picking a cue from that, did you follow any specific practice to remember those things or recollect those things? Is there any tips you can give around that?
No, I didn't follow anything structurally to find that, but I was able to reflect not only my career, corporate career. I was going back to my college days. I was going all the way back to my school days, and I was trying to recollect from the standard one what I was trying to do and what I was able to do, and I was trying to pick a few moments in my college schooling as well as my college to see if there is any pattern in my schoolhood, collegehood, and my corporatehood. So I was able to generate that pattern. I'm sure each of us will be able to generate that if we spend enough time. And that was one of the reasons I told you got to have a lot of reflection time.
Nice. Cool. So now, yes, you got this idea, everything is fine. You talked about action. That's again a most typical. Okay, we'll identify, that's all fine. Action. How does your day zero look like? How did you put that into action?
It's zero. Very simple. So day zero is zero. When I say actions, I wanted to start something, and I was thinking that yes, to make that day zero happen, you have to make some decisions. So 50% of people that spoke to me will never move the needle is because they don't take a decision. They would either procrastinate a decision or they might not take any decision, right? Not taking a decision is as good as procrastinating a decision. So to get into actions, you got to make some decisions, and those decisions are going to be maybe sometimes not good, sometimes not perfect. You might take bad decisions. I've taken more bad decisions in my life than good. So the day zero was, yes, I don't want to continue in corporate. I had to do something. And I did not wait for something to happen and then quit my corporate, right? I quit my corporate all of a sudden, and I cut off my corporate life. And when I reached back my home, people were asking, what did you do? What was the blunder that you did in your life? Because you are getting high paying job, and day before yesterday, you were talking so well, and today you resign. Are you mentally ill or you're good? So sometimes you need to make such decisions. I'm not saying you need to make all the decisions in your life drastically like that, but the decision that I took was able to give me a triggering point or a tipping point to start something. So my day zero was like zero, crazy. I quit my corporate life all of a sudden. And then I thought I would want to do something, which I know that this is what I would want to do, but I was not sure exactly how I want to do that. So that's how.
Now that makes me curious. Now you said you don't know exactly what you want to do, but you know you want to do something else. And then you also said there is a surrounding that is around us, who would probably, let's have good intent. They might be asking for your good intent. They might be questioning you like, why did you do this? So you might have created a lot of self-doubts in you, right? So how did you overcome that?
I don't know, maybe it's a natural gift. I did not have self-doubt on myself at any point in my life. Yeah, there were people not criticizing. Yeah, there were some criticism as well after then, but there were people asking me a lot of questions. Why did you do this? Why did you do this? But I was very strong with my decision. I did not get any self-doubt. I wanted to do this, but I got my first step correct, but I'm not sure about the rest. I will do it. I will be able to do it. So that was my stance.
Okay, nice to hear that. So now you said you did the first step, right? So that leads to our next video probably. So we're gonna wind up this video with a lot of insights at what Venkat gave for the day zero stuff, and then how to start something, which is a great insight. I hope you all enjoyed as well. I definitely enjoyed. So probably the next video we'll talk about how did he start really from day one. What was his steps? How did he identify the real thing? What he needs to do? Again, etc., etc. right?
Thank you.
Thank you, Venkat.